How are you, everybody who is watching this fantastic video? I would like to take this opportunity to welcome some of ordinary diploma students who are actually second year in ordinary diploma in electronics and telecommunication engineering. And also I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all the online students who are actually pursuing maybe ordinary diploma, NT level 4, NT level 5, NT level 6. And possibly, maybe you're a graduate from A level or graduate from O level. These contents are very important, and I would like to say that these are the fundamental concepts about telecommunication engineering. My name is Olenjolai. If the first time to meet me, I'm very happy to have you. And I would like just to ask you to have a fresh mind and have your pen, have your book, have your pencil in case of the drawings, because those are the raw materials that we need in order to learn the modules that call the radar and navigation aids. So let me appreciate about the physical students that we have in this class, and also let me use this opportunity to greet the online community who we are not physically together. How are you, students? Okay, so you heard your voice a little bit that they are fine, and we thank God that they are fine. So welcome into lecture 1 of radar and navigation aids. Students, what are the names of the module? Radar and navigation aids. This module is actual building very important skills about electronics communication engineering or electronics telecommunication engineering. So when you talk about radar, this is electronics communication instrument. When you talk about different navigation aids, these are the different also electronics communication navigation equipments. Okay? So before we go for the lecture 1, where we have to continue where we ended, let us do a quick review of what I've introduced to you in lecture 0, because today we are going to focus on lecture 1. So in lecture 0, simply just introduce about you, first of all, about the module code, if you do remember. What the module code for this module? ETT, 05, 214. E stands for electronics, T stands for telecommunication, T stands for technician, 05 stands for NT level 5, then 2 stands for second semester, 1 stands for how many times the curriculum has been reviewed, and 4 stands for the module code number in the curriculum. Right? That's the first key point. You have to understand. You just used to keep the module codes, but you don't know what do they mean. We don't have meaningless letters, we don't have meaningless digits. We have meaningful letters and meaningful digits. And you should understand, because one day, you or your friend might establish an institution. So you'll establish some modules, and then you'll be asked by Inactivate to make sure that you submit your module code. Simply, module code is just like a registration number to a student. Okay? Okay? Then I mentioned to you about number of what? Number of credits. So the number of credits for this module, which is what? 9. So if you score A, then you'll take 4 times 9. So 4 times 9 makes what is it? 60. Actual, it will push or it will move your GPA or your GPA up. Then the next thing, I think that I didn't mention about the number of hours. This module in each stream should be taught, number of hours, should be taught for 6 hours in a week. 60 hours in a week, right? So 6 hours for 81, 6 hours for 82. Then, I didn't mention this one, so you may take a note of it. Then I told you that in O-level and A-level and primary school syllabus, we have something we call it a specific objective. We have something we call it a syllabus. Within the syllabus, we have a key concept we call specific objectives that a student should achieve, right? So in case of the primary education syllabus and secondary education syllabus, right? But in case of ordinary diploma, bachelor degree, master's degree, and even doctorate studies, we don't have a terminology that's called the syllabus. We have a terminology that's called the curriculum. Right? So I told you that I'm going to teach you the fundamentals of radar navigation aids by using DIT, Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology, curriculum. So these curriculums actually give us something we call sub-enabling outcomes. How many sub-enabling outcomes do you have? 7 sub-enabling outcomes. Number 1 sub-enabling outcome, the student should do what? Read it. Pardon? I don't hear it. Employ electronics and telecommunication knowledge and skills to interpret what? To interpret parts of radar system. Say radar system. Say radar system. This is the first sub-enabling outcomes that you should be able to interpret parts of the radar system. Right? The second sub-enabling outcome is what? The student should be able to use what? Use navigation what? Navigation aids in what? Finding position. Aha. So it means navigation aids can help you to find positions. Finding what? Position. Right? So it's just like the navigation aids can work like how maybe the Google map can help you to find the position. Right? But this is in case of what? Air transport and water transport. Then the third sub-enabling outcome is what? Read it. Apply electronics and telecommunication knowledge and skills to maintain what? Radar system. Aha. You have to know to maintain radar system. Wonderful. So maintenance is all about what? Maintenance. Means that actually you will not, we have to teach about the procedures that you have to follow on maintaining radar systems. When you go for the industrial practical training and maybe you will be in the sections of in the radar section, then you can apply them and do the maintenance in case the radar has some problem. Right? The fourth sub-enabling outcome, apply what? Knowledge of telecommunication. So from there, all the next series sub-enabling outcomes, they need you to apply knowledge of telecommunication. The first four sub-enabling outcomes, actually they ask you to use electronics and the telecommunication knowledge and skills. But the first one, the first is 3. Oh, no, the first is 4. So it means that the 4 sub-enabling outcomes employ electronics knowledge and skill to examine principles. Say principles. Say principles. I don't hear a student. Say principles. Principles of radar system. So use the electronics and telecommunication knowledge and skills to learn about your principles of radar systems, and we are going to cover them. The fifth sub-enabling outcome, it's what? You have to use the telecommunication, apply knowledge of telecommunication to examine types Types of what? Navigation aids. Navigation aids. Then number 6, the 6 sub-enabling outcome. Use manual and basic concept of telecommunication to operate what? You have to know how you can operate what? Radar system. But you have to use what? Manual. I told you that manual, it's manufacturer's mind. Right? It's a manufacturer's mind at the hand of the user. Okay. So then number 7, the 7 sub-enabling outcomes. Use what? A manual and telecommunication skill to operate navigation what? Aids. So to operate navigation, say navigation aids. Well, so those are the 7 sub-enabling outcomes that we discussed in workshop 0. So ladies and gentlemen, let us continue. That was number 2. So let us number 3. Let us continue with today's break. All the modules of NTA level 5, they have prerequisite module. So what the prerequisite module? So this is about what? So this is about lecture 1. Prerequisite. Say prerequisite. Class A prerequisite. Class A prerequisite. So a second year, almost all the second year modules and third year modules, and even NTA level 7 and NTA level 8 modules, they ask your students to have prior knowledge. So this is prior knowledge that you need in order for you to understand about radar system. So there is one prerequisite module for this module that it's called the ATT, Electronics and Telecommunication Technician 05111. What are the names of that module, if you remember? You forgot. Radar, radio transmission, so it's radio transmission system. Radio transmission. Say radio transmission system. Say radio transmission system. And this model you have been taught by my mother, whose name is called the Madam Zoa. Isn't it? So this stands for Electronics and Telecommunication Technician, NTA level 5, first semester. The curriculum is reviewed once. Module code number in the curriculum. So if you do remember that in all the 7 sub-enabling outcomes, what do you see? It means that you've been asked you to use knowledge, electronics and telecommunication knowledge and skills in order to learn something. So where are you going to review those skills? Most of the skills that you are going to use, you have covered in radio transmission system. Say radio transmission system. Again, say radio transmission system. Okay. So if you forgot, refer the material that you've been writing. Then, the curriculum has told us about the learning context. Learning context. Say learning context. Okay, so this module of radar and navigation, I'm not talking about radio transmission system. This module will be delivered. I will deliver the concepts of this module will be delivered through number 1. So through lectures. Say lectures. Say lectures. Like the one that I'm doing right now. These modules has to be delivered through practical works. Practical works. Say practical works. Say practical works. When you say practical works, you should not be limited that maybe we have a radar so we may do the practical. Industrial practical training also, it's a module. And it's a practical module. Right? So you should not be limited at, oh, we didn't go to the workshop to do the practicals for radar. Then the third way that we can deliver or we can teach this module is by using tutorials. Say tutorials. Tutorials, actually, this is the list of the question that the teacher may provide to the students, and students try to solve for themselves. In case they encounter some challenges, in the next lecture, then the students have to present the difficulty problems that they fail to solve in the list of tutorials. Right? Are we together? Class, are we together? Okay. The first method of delivering the content for this, the contents of radar and what navigation aids is through what? Assignments. Say assignments. DIT assignments are very famous. Why are very famous? Because there is a principle that's called the copy, edit, paste. Copy, paste, edit, send. Repeat. Copy, paste, edit, send. So for those students who are expert in copying the assignments, now they are happy. Because they say, yes, that's the point where we have our dominion. The assignments. We'll make sure that we score all the marks, but it's not our work, it's somebody's work. Okay, the fifth way is that we can deliver the content for this module. We can deliver them by using also what? Study visiting. Study what? Study visits. You can visit either airport or port. Right? Port in Swahili, because we have some Swahili speakers, we means bandari. So those are the places where you can visit and see radar and navigation aids. But also you can go to the army. But you know the army? It's dangerous for you to go to the army. Okay. Some of them say, no, we can go. Okay, fine. Okay. Then that is all about the learning context. Say learning context. Again, say learning context. Then we have been guided by the curriculums about learning materials. Learning materials. So learning materials. Say learning materials. The following materials might be used. Blackboard like the one that I'm using right now, or whiteboard. We may use blackboard or what? Whiteboard. Say whiteboard. Yeah, so we may use either blackboard to learn about radar navigation aids, or we may use what? Whiteboards. The second learning material that we need in order to learn this module, we will use, or we may use multimedia. We will use multimedia projector. Say multimedia projector. Do you know it? Ask your neighbor, do you know multimedia projector? Maybe he or she knows what? Projector. But he or she does not know multimedia what? So he or she might think this is the new vocabulary. No. Multimedia projector, it's a projector. Let me help you. Then we can also learn, or we can use the following materials. We may use written study material. For instance, notes. Written study what? Materials. Class, if you have any question at that point, you may ask. Is there any question? Do you have any question? Is it clear? Okay. Then we are done about the learning materials. We can let us now focus on the very important part in this general introduction. And this important part, we call it references. Say references. Class, say references. Say references. Say references. This is very important part because the curriculums mention or presented to us about some books and materials that you may use to learn and achieve all the 7 sub-enabling outcomes. It's very important. Any modules that you are learning, you have to ask the references that you might use them to learn different concepts. The references might be soft copy or hard copy. Right? There is no any module which does not have references. There is no any modules of NTA level 4 and NTA level 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 which does not have prerequisite modules. Mostly, the modules of semester 1 for NTA level 4 are the ones that don't have what prerequisite modules because most students are come from O level. Right? So, we don't ask you to have a prior knowledge. We just ask you to have a prior knowledge of science and mathematics. That's all. Again, class A, references. Say references. So, according to the DIT curriculum, we have 2 types of references in this module. The first group of references, we call them required references. And the second group, we call them recommended references. Say required references. Can you ask your neighbor, are you required in Tanzania or you are not required? Ask your neighbor. Ask your neighbor, this is your neighbor, are you required in Tanzania or you are not required in Tanzania? So, for this part, the required, keep quiet. We have been given or we have been told to refer or to use 2 required references to learn radar and the navigation aids. So listen, in NTA level 6, that will be your 3rd year. Listen, stop writing. You'll be doing or you'll be having a module that's called the project conceptualization and project realization. In those 2 modules, you'll be writing a project report book. And in that book, at the end of that book, you should mention the reference material that you've used on writing your project report book. And we don't write the references the way we want. We write the references by following the standard notation. So these references that I'm going to teach you, it will have a lot of information rather than the information that you have been expecting, but this is the standard international notation of referring. So the way, the arrangements that I'm going to use, or the curriculum has used, is very important. Keep it. You remember me in the first semester of NTA level 6 and NTA level 7 because you'll be asked to include the references. And if you don't know, if actually you disorganize the details about one of your references, then you have nullified that the references and you'll be asked to go and correct it and possibly print another book. Are we together? Are we together? Is it clear or should I repeat? It's clear, eh? Wonderful. I love you so much if it's clear. Okay, so listen. When you be writing this name with all the details, you may find a free modern radar system analysis. When you'll be ignoring about the other information and say, let me just search for the name, you'll be finding the book of modern radar system analysis, which you have to buy. And we know that in Bongo, that is not a good news. Right? So the advice, in case you want to search a free modern radar system analysis, write all of this information in the Google search engine and then ask it. We'll see one which is in PDF and it is free. And I know as a Bongo person, you will be happy. You will be happy. So let us read together. Let us read. What is this? This is a reference number, right? This one is what? Name of author. Then this one is what? Year of publication. This is the name of what? Of the book. This is the name of what? Publisher. Right? And then this is the what? The number of edition. Then this is what? ICBN what? Number. Right? Right? So let us keep in our mind 1, 2, 3. David K. Barton, say it. 2012 Modern Radar System Analysis. Artex House Radar Library. First edition. Then what? McGraw Hill. ICBN what? 13. 97808 9006 1701. Then, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second required reference book. The name of the author is called William L. Melvin. Do you have a student whose name is William? This second required reference book has been written by the two authors. So that's why we wrote William L. Melvin, comma, Jimmy. Do you have Jimmy in this class? Jimmy what? Chi. Then the year of publication is 2014. Ask your neighbor again, where were you in 2014? Where were you? Form 4? So what happened? Now you're in NTA level 5. 10 years ago you were in Form 4. Okay. So the name of the book is called the Principles. Say Principles. Say Principles. You don't say it here because you don't like it. But if you could be Yanga or Simba, you could support it without any external force. Say Principles of Modern Radar. Wonderful. Then say the edition. Then take publishing, then ICBN 16801. You have to be careful with ICBN number. Then 2688. So stop writing. Let us reinforce in our understanding. Say required reference number 2. William L. Melvin. Jimmy who? Jimmy C. 2014. Principles of Modern Radar. Say the edition. Take Publishing. ICBN 16801526888. Okay. So these are the names of the authors. How many authors are there? 2. Then the year of publication, 2014. The name of the required reference, Principles of Modern Radar. The edition, third edition. Then this is the name of publisher. So we are waiting your publishing company. Tell your neighbor, we are waiting your book publishing company of electronics and telecommunication books, engineering books. Tell your neighbor. So tell your neighbor, you will establish the publishing company, I will be writing books. So you'll be publishing my books, and also you tell your neighbor, I will be selling your books. So how many required references books do you have? Modern, radar, system what? Analysis, and what? Principles of what? Yes. Then part B, the second reference, is called the recommended references. Say recommended references. Say recommended references. Can you tell me that? What did your parents recommend to you when you have been coming for the second semester of second year? What did your parents recommend to you? They told you to study hard. And then, once you study hard, you'll get high grade. Okay. That's what you've been told by your parents. The recommended references of me as a parent, if I could have a child like you who have gone to technical institution, right? It is one. Make sure that you don't finish the second semester without solving a real life problems about electronics and telecommunication engineering. Without solving a real life problems, not without implementing the linear power supply. No. Okay, just have your seat. I understood. Have your seat. I understood what you want to communicate. I'm finishing. Okay, so this will be reference number 3, right? Reference number 3. So reference number 3, the outsource is A.K.sen. Okay? .sen. The year of publication is 2018. I'm about to end this lecture. It's called the radar system. Radar system. Say radar system. And the radio navigation. Radar system and radio aids. Sorry, radio aids to navigation. So here I forgot. Aids to navigation. You have to find the first edition. The first edition. And then the name of the publisher is Kana Publication. We are waiting Holiness Publication Company. And we are waiting, the book has been written by Geoffrey. ICBN number 13 97 8 168 39 21189. This is the SEDI reference book. So let us read. A.K.sen. 2018. Ask your neighbor now, where are you 2018? Your neighbor remember. Remember where were you in 2018? I think you remember. But 2012? That's another story. Say radar system and radio aids to navigation. First edition. Kana Publication. ICBN. 1319783921189. Yes. Good. The first, then I'll finish the first reference book until be the end of lecture 1. Then I'll leave the homework for you. Okay. The first reference book is Merrill. It has been published by Merrill I. Skolnick. The year of publication, 2012. Introduction. Introduction to radar. Introduction to radar systems. Second edition. Keep quiet, please. I'm about to finish the workshop or the class. Second edition. Then the publisher is Prentice Hall. ICBN number 007 066 572. Then -9. This is the first reference book. Right? So let us reinforce our understanding. Merrill I. Skolnick. 2012. 2012 again, which is a problem for us, majority of us. We are very young by that time, most of us. Yeah. Okay. Then, Introduction to Radar System. Second edition. Prentice Hall. ICBN 007066579. 29. Then the last C, recommended reference book. It also has been written by the same publisher. Merrill I. Keep quiet. Skolnick. And then the year of publication now is powerful. 1980. Ask your neighbor, where were you? And if you ask your neighbor, ask your teacher, where were you in 1980? When you ask your neighbor, ask your teacher, it means ask me, where was I 1980? The answer is, for me, I was in my father's whist. How about you? So the same author, but that was first edition. This is second edition. This is first edition. McGraw-Hill. Then Inc. ICBN 10 00 no 08 9 00 61 70. So let us finish with this one. Merrill I. Skolnick. 1980. Introduction to Radar Systems. First edition. Then ICBN -- Then lastly, let me finish by assess this module. How will you assess this module? This module actually has two ways of assessment. The first one, continuous. Say continuous assessment. You know it here. In short, it is what? CA. So the CA for this module is 60%. How am I going to test you? Number one, I will give you quizzes. Say quizzes. Say quizzes. Number two, I will assess you by homework. Say homework. Number three, I will assess you by assignments, but not copy and paste. Then number four, I will assess you by two tests. Then the last method of assessment is a final what? Exam. AKA a full, for this module, schedule what? 40%. So you'll do a written exam. Then if you do this assessment them correctly, you'll have 60 out of 60. Then for the written exams, you'll have 40 out of 40. Then you'll be having A of 100 marks. Do you expect you to get that? Yes. The homework for this workshop is this one. It is simple. Listen and write. Note. That's the homework one. I won't write. I will just say, pronounce it. Homework one. Download at least one required reference. And download at least two recommended references. Book. Pass. That's all. It's just a matter of downloading. Right? But you go through what you have downloaded here. Because anytime the quiz might come. Are we together? Okay. So did you understand, students? This is the end of lecture 1. Thank you very much. Join me in the next lecture. Will be lecture 2, where I will be introducing to you the 60 topics that you have to cover for this. And we'll start chapter 2, because chapter 1 is general introduction. So next lecture, lecture 2, we'll be starting the second chapter, which is introduction to radar system. Make sure that you don't miss it. Make sure that you review this material, and make sure that you stay connected. May God bless you. See you in the next class.